In September 1849, Harriet Tubman embarked on a journey from Maryland, escaping the bonds of slavery to seek freedom in the North. Her path involved nocturnal travel and daytime concealment, sustained by the natural bounty of the forest when provisions ran low. Among these natural provisions was a fruit largely unknown to contemporary Americans, flourishing wildly along the pathways to liberty. It hung profusely from trees near waterways and forest margins, and for 3 pivotal weeks each September, it furnished critical calories, nourishment, and hope to those with no other means of sustenance. The pawpaw, or Asimina triloba, stands as North America's most substantial edible native fruit. Its flavor profile is a tropical fusion of mango, banana, and pineapple, with a velvety, custard-like consistency that dissolves in the mouth. Nutritionally, it surpasses nearly every fruit found in today's supermarkets. Yet, a visit to any American grocery store will reveal its absence. This is not due to its inability to grow domestically. The pawpaw thrives across 26 states, stretching from Florida to Ontario and Nebraska to New York. Nor is its absence attributable to an unpalatable taste. Almost everyone who encounters the pawpaw for the first time describes it as one of the finest fruits they have ever consumed. The pawpaw's disappearance can be traced to a singular technological transformation in the 1940s, a development that irrevocably altered American dietary habits and rendered fruits like the pawpaw obsolete. This narrative chronicles how refrigeration extinguished the most nutritious fruit cultivated in North America. Prior to European settlement, the pawpaw was a dietary mainstay for numerous indigenous cultures. The Shawnee, for instance, designated an entire month in their calendar to the pawpaw harvest. The Powhatan term for the fruit, Asimina, eventually became its scientific designation. Archaeological findings from Russell Cave in Alabama reveal pawpaw seeds dating back 8,000 years. Indigenous communities did not merely gather pawpaws. They actively cultivated, propagated, and strategically planted the finest trees near their settlements. In 1541, when Hernando de Soto traversed the Mississippi Valley, his chronicler documented Native Americans cultivating pawpaws in managed orchards. This was not a wild food source. It represented a form of agriculture. Early colonists swiftly adopted the pawpaw. It was plentiful, freely available, and flourished where European fruit trees struggled. George Washington, a known admirer, served chilled pawpaws as dessert at Mount Vernon. Thomas Jefferson cultivated pawpaw trees at Monticello, explicitly listing Asimina triloba among his personal fruit collection. In 1806, Lewis and Clark, facing dwindling supplies in what is now Missouri, relied heavily on pawpaws. William Clark noted in his journal their complete lack of provisions and their sustenance on pawpaws, remarking 3 days later that they were thriving on the fruit. These explorers not only survived on pawpaws, but also prospered due to their nutritional value. Nutritionally, the pawpaw is exceptional. A 100-gram serving delivers 3 times the vitamin C of an apple and twice that of a banana. It boasts 10 times the calcium of a banana or apple, 20 to 70 times the iron, and 4 to 20 times the magnesium. Pawpaw protein encompasses all 9 essential amino acids, surpassing apples in every aspect, and matching or exceeding bananas and oranges in most. Research from Kentucky State University indicates that pawpaw possesses a superior fatty acid profile compared to bananas, with 40% monounsaturated fats, lower saturated fat content, and a more favorable cardiovascular impact. Furthermore, pawpaw contains acetogenins, plant compounds demonstrating promising anti-cancer properties in laboratory studies. Its bark, leaves, and twigs even harbor natural insecticides, providing inherent protection to the tree without human intervention. During the Great Depression, pawpaws sustained thousands of rural families, earning the moniker "poor man's banana." Civil War soldiers, both Union and Confederate, foraged pawpaws to supplement their rations. Freedom seekers escaping slavery likewise depended on pawpaws, while traversing the Underground Railroad northward. The fruit ripened in September, a prime period for escape attempts as nights lengthened and crops offered natural concealment. The pawpaw was more than just food. It represented survival woven into the American landscape. So what led to its decline? In 1938, Frederick McKinley Jones, a truck driver, invented the inaugural portable air cooling unit for trucks. Previously, refrigerated transportation relied on surrounding produce with melting ice. Jones's invention revolutionized this system, allowing trucks to maintain consistent, cold temperatures for extended periods, thus giving birth to the modern refrigerated truck. By 1940, commercial refrigerated shipping containers emerged, followed by standard refrigerated rail cars by 1950. By 1960, the cold chain, a comprehensive system for keeping food chilled from farm to table, became the cornerstone of American food distribution. This advancement provided consumers with fresh oranges from Florida in December, lettuce from California in February, and strawberries from Chile in January. However, the cold chain imposed specific demands to justify the expense of long-distance transport. Fruits needed a substantial shelf life, at least 7 days, ideally 14. Apples can endure 2 to 4 weeks in cold storage. Bananas, if harvested green, last 7 to 14 days. Oranges can remain viable for 3 to 8 weeks. In contrast, a ripe pawpaw lasts a mere 2 days, potentially 3 under optimal conditions. It bruises easily and continues to ripen post-harvest. Once ripe, it ferments rapidly. Unripe pawpaws can be refrigerated for up to 2 weeks, but once they begin to ripen, the countdown starts, leaving only 48 hours before the fruit passes its peak. This characteristic is not a defect, but an evolutionary adaptation. Pawpaws evolved in North American forests, where their consumers were local animals like foxes, raccoons, and opossums. The fruit did not need to endure a 1,000-mile journey. It only needed to survive the 100-foot distance from tree to animal. By 1950, the American food system shifted away from localized consumption. Grocery chains centralized, distribution centers proliferated, and food traveled greater distances. The cold chain could not accommodate the pawpaw's perishability, leading to its removal from commerce. This was not a deliberate decree or a conspiracy, but a logistical consequence. By 1960, imported bananas from Ecuador occupied more shelf space in American grocery stores than pawpaws cultivated in American backyards. The system prioritized durability over nutritional value. The pawpaw, which had sustained Native Americans for 8 millennia, colonists for 2 centuries, and freedom seekers for decades, vanished from commercial circulation. What was the cost of this loss? The average American consumes 35 pounds of bananas annually, most of which travel over 2,000 miles. Had pawpaws remained a staple in American orchards, we could be consuming a local fruit with double the vitamin C, 10 times the calcium, and 30 times the iron, without the need for refrigerated container ships burning fossil fuels to cross oceans. Pawpaws grow without pesticides, possess natural insect resistance, and serve as the exclusive host plant for the zebra swallowtail butterfly. When pawpaw orchards disappeared, butterfly populations dwindled, and an entire ecosystem felt the repercussions. Most Americans under the age of 50 have never tasted a pawpaw. They have missed the experience of a fruit that tastes tropical, yet flourishes in their own climate. Yet the pawpaw demonstrates that North America possessed such a fruit all along. In 1990, Kirk Pompa initiated the Pawpaw Research Program at Kentucky State University. Today, over 27 named cultivars exist. While they will never survive a week in a grocery store, they thrive at farmers markets. In 2019, the Ohio Pawpaw Festival drew over 10,000 attendees. The pawpaw is making a quiet resurgence. You can plant a pawpaw tree today. In 6 to 8 years, it will bear fruit. And for the next 50 years, it will provide sustenance without the need for pesticides, refrigerated trucks, or global shipping. The same fruit that nourished freedom seekers still grows wild across 26 states. It never vanished from the landscape. It merely disappeared from our tables. Harriet Tubman was unfamiliar with cold chains, but she understood survival. In September, the pawpaw was always present. The trees remain, the fruit continues to ripen, and after 70 years, we may finally be ready to recognize what we forfeited. If this revelation resonated with you, consider subscribing to Nature's Lost Vault and activating the notification bell. Some fruits journey 1,000 miles to reach you, others await in your own backyard. The next vault will soon reveal its contents.